From the F3 Nation podcast studios.
I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
This is the COT podcast, connecting the packs of F3 Nation through fitness, fellowship, and faith.
Andrew Maggio, 35, Wirebiter.
Mike Kirkos, 35, Saganaki.
Michael Barrett, 40, Rep Sleepy.
Peter Ranky, 63, Bambi.
COT podcast starts right now.
Shut up and sit down.
Back once again for another episode of the Circle of Trust podcast. What's up, F3 Nation? Coming to you with audio and video. I didn't tell you that beforehand, but you can see both of us say we're releasing this on video as well, because why not? Let's see our third member of the show. You got YHC, Hello Kitty here checking in. You got Rapido, and then we got a four-legged friend. There he is, my man Lincoln.
Lincoln. I didn't know we were recording. I'm in the living room for all places.
You know what? I just decided we've got a new partnership to announce here in the next few weeks. Not going to give you too much, but a part of that is you're going to be able to watch us on other platforms. So you know what? You look great. I'm here. Lincoln's in the house. You got an F3 shirt on. Let's just do it. Let's do it. Let's release the video.
Should I mirror my screen so that the F3 is correct?
No, it looks wonderful. See, what you don't see on the return is it's perfect. You got a little light over your shoulder. You look angelic, my friend.
It's got a little halo effect coming down the pike.
Here's the deal. I haven't seen you in person in like a week. This is ridiculous, man. What's going on?
It's absurd. You just, crushing things, doing your dealios, both for the Mammon and for the next up Mammon. And yeah. I'm here in
Carytown. Somebody's got to hold down the proverbial fort, metaphorical fort, either way. Guys, listen, we're thrilled that you join us, set aside a time to talk about fitness, fellowship, and faith. The things that we're seeing and hearing happening around F3, we have got a heavy dose of GTE44. And we don't mean to overshadow any of the other events, but there was a very special one that happened over Veterans Day weekend. We had a plethora of packs. That's more than 3, in case you're wondering, in the official counting system, in the idiotic numbering system.
Just imagine if they had piñatas.
That's right. How's your week been? Let's see. It's Thursday as we record and release, so we're a week out from Turkey Day. That snuck up on me. The Thanksgiving snuck up on me. It's
really feeling like fast this year. For I don't know. It's only a couple of days earlier on the calendar day, but I just feel like you get through the summer and all of a sudden it's Christmas, and we're in that right now, thinking about all the things that need to come together before we head west and up the mountain.
But here's what we need to do, Mijo. We need to remember the reason why in which we go, right? I got you guys, you like me, right? You might be overwhelmed. I got a lot going on, but what shouldn't be lost is the gratitude we got to carry, right? I mean, seriously, in our hearts over this next week. Cause man, it's a good one coming up. It's probably my top holiday of the year. I love Christmas. Don't get me wrong. I love the reason of Christmas, not lost on me, right? I love the reason of Christmas. But daggum, Thanksgiving sets up real well for your boy. It sets up real well.
Well, I thought you were saying the real reason for the season was going to be the wagon wheel, this year's wagon wheel.
It officially kickstarts the holidays as far as I'm concerned.
But I'm with you. The older I've gotten, the more Thanksgiving has crept up on the
rankings
holiday list. Yes. I am.
It's a day of family and fun, and man,
I think it's my one seed for sure, followed closely by probably
Flag Day. 4th of July is a good one.
Flag
Day. I mean, 4th of July is great.
And I'm like you. I think about Christmas and maybe in Christmas and Easter. And
it's a whole holiday. Yes. Agree.
So,
it's a whole holiday.
Right.
I'm with you on that. But man, for a one-day shebang, come on, buddy.
Doesn't get much better in Turkey.
And the way in which we celebrated as conjoined families, Ram Fam Thanksgiving is pretty damn epic, man.
Pretty much the standard these days. Also picked up the queue on Saturday, the 25th.
You did
in Boontown.
Boom, game day, Armani Edwards Day. Listen, guys, we've got a lot to talk about happening around F3 Nation. Let me tell you this though. I got to spend, I'll take a point of personal privilege here. Got to spend 4 4 or 5 days last week, traversing the state of South Carolina with a group of veterans, special operators, and F3 Red Baron there for every step of the way. What a great experience for the two of us, father and son, joined together. And I won't belabor it, but it was moments that we got to spend together where we weren't even saying anything, just being together for that amount of time. Like, I will remember that for the rest of my days as a cherished memory. But got to see the good of the world sort of on full display as we had these guys walking across the state of South Carolina, raising money and awareness for veterans, mental health, suicide prevention and awareness. And so that was really rewarding work. But there was just, there was a lot of talk about F3 as we were out on the road, and just the similarities and just the way we're sort of locking shields on missions like that, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah, man, I followed along obviously throughout the weekend, and then a lot of the subsequent content you've been able to push out this week and get shared by those men involved. And it's been inspiring stuff. I mean, getting to talk to, was it hundreds of sixth graders? How many were in that gym?
Yeah, hundreds. That's right.
And then some elected officials down there and other important folks help making it all happen. And people going out of their way to do something unique and interesting for a mighty cause, and bringing people together. Like you said, man, those memories for you and your pops, that's a beautiful thing. And why else but, the work that you do and some of the work with F3 and other things how else does that come together? So that's just really cool, man. If
you want to see some of that, on Instagram is probably the best place. I'm at Brian Jodice, BrianJodice, or at Pick Up the Six, all spelled out. There's because you guys know and love the nation's general Red Baron out of F3 Snacktown. This whole operation was a team of sort of elite military operators and a couple generals, one of which being retired 3-star Lieutenant General Ralph J. Jodice. And you guys will get a kick out of watching at times 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 huge, jacked, tatted, bearded special operators, and then the general. And it's like he had a personal security detail the entire way.
Yeah, it did look like he was on the tarmac at Kandahar.
That's right.
With a couple of
that's kind of what it looked like. Fair assessment. But what was incredible, man, was I got to watch men dig deep, right, to do a physical challenge for the betterment of themselves and their community, much like what we saw our brothers do this weekend at the GTE in Wilmington, right? So there's similarities in that, and there's similarities in what you guys are doing to accelerate yourself through fitness, fellowship, and faith, seeking hard things early in the morning, getting up, getting it done before the sun comes up. It's not lost on us what all that looks, sounds, and feels like. So, bro, when I tell you we have a plethora of calls, we got 5 phone calls dialed up just to tell us what happened at the GT, which was absolutely incredible. And we've got some other things to talk about as well. So let's go ahead and get into that. Let's start with some T-claps that we pulled off of what I'm now calling X Marks the Spot on the COT podcast. Do you have any idea why we would call it that, Vance?
Something from Twitter?
Exactamundo, my friend. So this is where we pull things that people tag at F3 COT podcast in on X, formerly known as Twitter, but now I think we're all officially calling it X, although then there's a lot of holdouts that are still going to call it Twitter, but we're now calling it the X Marks.
I would never cross that bridge to call it X.
But here's what's happening, guys. You guys do amazing things. You share it on that platform, which is a great way to connect to F3 and something bigger than yourself across the nation. When you tag at F3 COT podcast, we're then able to talk about here. Lincoln, what up, dog? My man. God, we're going to spend some great time together. All right. Saw this one. F3 Afton. The Mount Afton Challenge is back. January 13th, 2024. That's wild to think about. That's what's coming.
That's like 2 months away, bro.
2 months away, bro. 2 months away. You got to get yourself prepared for that reality. Join us, spread the word, and support local mental health and suicide prevention services provided by NAMI, which must be a local organization they work with. Last year, we donated $16K to fund their services. So go to the X Machine /Twitter, check out at F3 Afton, get connected to those guys as they're going to invigorate some male community leadership in their community. Also saw this one from the boys over in the Louisville area, 138 packs at the Parklands for F3 Louisville Convergence Workout. Said continually proud to be part of this incredible group of men. So that was pretty amazing. to see that. Love to see those big numbers. Love to see huge numbers of packs getting after it as well. And I thought that was pretty cool. And no doubt the boys of Louisville always doing great things there.
For Shizzle. I saw I think I saw that picture on the Twitter. I can't remember. I've seen some of these that were listening through here, but the more we can get tagged at F3COT podcast, the more we'll both be able to flag stuff and then pull them together for future shows.
True that. Same way that you can be a part of this program to call in, right? So a great way to reach us at F3COT podcast on the X machine, or you can always call, be a part of the show, 844 for COT packs. And that's how the guys from GTE44 got to be a part of it. We also got a health tip from Bones talking about boosting immune systems. So looking forward to hearing from Bones as well. So let's get to those phone lines, man. We got a lot, dude. We got a lot of calls. The question is, what order do we go in? I want to bring it to you, co-host. We're going to hear from Slitch. We're going to hear from Funny Car. We're going to hear from Dial Up and Atomic Wedgie, all 4 participants. But then you got Major Payne, who's in the cadre role. So what do you think, man, as far as hearing about the latest Grow Ruck experience?
I would do this. Knowing what I think Atomic Wedgie's going to talk about, I would do him last.
I love the sound of that. Yep.
I would actually lead with Major Payne and then hit Schlitz, Funny Car, and Dial Up, and then Atomic Wedgie.
Man, God, you guys are getting to witness live a production meeting. I mean, that's incredible.
What do you think, Fat Max? Does that work for you back there? Yeah, yep. I'm getting a thumbs up.
Yep. Here we go. It's Major Payne, letting you guys get a little bit of insight into what happened in what was another memorable Grow Ruck training experience. And man, good stuff happening as always. Here's our man, Major Payne.
Hey, Kitty and Rapido, this is Major Payne calling in about GTE44 that we knocked out this past weekend. It was truly an incredible weekend, and at the King Builder on the Battleship North Carolina with 218 packs, I knew we were in store for something special when the cold rain started falling on us. It was a weather that no one wanted, but everyone needed. As the ruck began in the drizzling gloom, I provided the scenario that would endure the entire phase, that the men would be Marines serving in the Pacific Theater of War during World War II, and then out of the blue, 3 active duty Marines showed up in their dress blues, fresh from their Marine Corps birthday ball, celebrating 248 years. Man, that was electric. As the packs moved out, we had the Carolina Beach firefighters ambush them, /spray them with their hoses, and the packs moved on, picked up logs that simulated artillery tubes that they needed to transport for a coastal defense operation. Once they got to the beach, they laid the guns perfectly at the beach. It was an amazing sight. I hope you've seen the picture. It's super cool. After that, they moved down the beach to set up a defensive position to the south to make sure we weren't flanked by the enemy. It was a wet, soggy slog with the rain to our back and high winds. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Once we got there, Atomic Wedgie led a beautiful tribute to his brother, who sadly was killed by friendly fire in Iraq in 2008. And then we moved inland slightly for the sunriser. It was cold, rainy, windy, and perfect, as Wapner provided his words to the men that inspired them for the final push to the end. We had 77 packs start, 77 finished. I couldn't be more proud with all their efforts, but really also the men of F3 Cape Fear that put this on. Steak Knives was the host cue. Kramer was the Nantan. Snooky stepped up at every step, at every point he could, and then Rhodey served as a support cue. It was really too many hymns to name. In short, it was an epic event that was just an incredible tribute to veterans, and man, I'm just happy it's over, and we have these memories to take us on and become better men serving our communities across the nation. Major Payne out.
I got a chance to talk to 3 of our guys, right? Local Carpex guys that made the journey. We're based in Central North Carolina, a few hours over to Wilmington. For those of you actually who are new and listening, Grow Ruck event is just a massive, it is our premier training event for F3. And it's capped off with a 15-hour plus overnight ruck movement and experience. And man, I mean, those guys are like, dude, we were in the cold, the wet, the rain the entire time. And it sounded like it was brutal.
Yeah, it sounds like it was as cold as Pinehurst was years back, as well as ENC last year.
Right. But wet the whole time.
But wet the whole time.
Right.
Which pretty much was, it rained like that in Pinehurst, and the wind was nuts. But down on the beach, when you're out there in the wide open, man, it's a different.
They know where to hide, baby.
It's in a different ball game. And that picture he's talking about with the howitzer tubes pointed towards the water, that would make a hell of a shirt with some sort of like negative space type graphic on a t-shirt, because it's a really cool photo. But yeah, I read in the newsletter that I think went out yesterday, maybe was in the inbox yesterday. The Nation newsletter. There's a good write up on that. Everybody should read that if they don't get it. Go find it. But about those active duty Marines that saw some activity in a parking lot, which actually happened to be the welcome party for the ruck portion of the event.
The timing's so good.
Rolled in and fresh off that, like you said, their Marine Corps birthday bash, and I'm sure there was cake with a large sword, all that good stuff. So super proud of those guys, and they got to address the packs. Hopefully that set the tone really well for the guys all evening. Dewey Decimal locally, I don't know if you connected with him. He's in the process of writing up a detailed back blast
that'll be fabulous.
That'll be good to get your hands on. We can link that out to the masses as well.
We'll hear from Dewey Decimal later.
Yes.
Let's go to I don't remember who you told me to go. I'm going to go to Dial Up next. Is that all right?
Sure.
All the way down from Pennsylvania to be a part of this Grow Ruck.
Hey, Kitty, it's Dial Up from F3 Susquehanna Valley up in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. Just wanted to call and say, made the journey down to GTE44 this past weekend, and man, what an awesome event it was. I talked about doing it for a long, long time and finally bit the bullet, conquered my fear, went down. I still have sand falling out of orifices and crevices in my body. But hey, it was a great event, had an awesome time. And I just want to say, a couple things. Mostly I just want to focus on the fact that, as an older dude, I'm a respect guy. And, oftentimes we think that the future generation is hosed because there's just not good leaders out there. But this weekend, I saw a 21-year-old Beetlejuice lead the Red Platoon in such an awesome manner as we were carrying that log for what seemed like it had to be close to 5 miles. And his leadership skills were just spot on. And then his brother, I believe his name was like Malcolm in the Middle, 17 years old and led the White Platoon at one point during the weekend. Like, how freaking inspiring is that for a bunch of us older dudes to see young leaders like that? F3 is contributing to them growing and becoming the future leaders of our country and of our society. And that really, really excites me. And, everybody out there in F3 Nation, man, just keep doing what you're doing. And if you haven't done a GTE yet, sign up. I wish I hadn't waited so long. So don't let yourself wait so long either. Peace out.
Yeah, dude, those moments where you see someone step up and take charge, and you got an FNG who shows up to the King Builder, which is an hour-long workout that Saturday morning before you go to grow school, and then do the big ruck movement overnight, right? To learn that cadence count, to get a little chance to lead there, right? In a very controlled scenario, but then to be thrust in it later at night in a much more chaotic, less controlled scenario. That's pretty incredible to see happen.
Well, when you hear stories like that, guys forging through issues or finding that strong voice or finding that delegation authority, finding those opportunities to lead. But then you think about 17 years old and the dark, cold wind and rain, high stress and limited visibility, trying to lead platoons of men. So you're at
grown men,
77. So you're about 25 guys, right? And you're 17. It's not hyperbolic to think that that's a life-changing moment for that 17-year-old that could change the trajectory of his path because of something that he endeavored and conquered on a weekend in November with a bunch of crazy dudes out in the sand in the wind. That's just nuts to think about it from a macro level.
That's a great way to think about it. All right, we're going to go back-to-back calls. It's a funny car from Hampton Roads, and it's our boy Schlitz. I will say Schlitz did not adhere to the 3 minutes or less recommendation. It's a recommendation. It
more of
is
a
actually
guideline than a rule.
It's a hard rule, as you'll see, because on the voicemail machine, it's a hard stop at 3. You got 90 seconds, boys. Get this John in, and you get cut off. That's it. You cut off after that. But still, it's great to hear
it's
his
twice
voice.
you've used the word John in this record.
Well, I was hanging out with your boy Grunge this morning, and he's been wearing off on me in a good way, I suppose. Hell of a mustache, that guy.
It's
great,
iconic.
Funny car first, then Schlitz.
Hello, Kitty and Rapido. Funny car, 60 F3 Hampton Roads. Just want to call in and give a quick recap of GTE44. And first of all, just thank our F3 brothers of F3 Cape Fear and all the other packs involved in just putting together an awesome weekend. The King Builder was fantastic on the USS North Carolina with over 200 packs. Another outstanding grow school led by Bono and the other trainers, getting the guys motivated. But the Grow Ruck, this was my third one, Richmond 2019 and Capital Region this past March. And they're all tough, but this was brutal. The logs were heavy.
You love to hear it.
We got wet relatively early. And then around 12 o'clock, when we get to the beach, we're dealing with wind and rain. We had 3 platoons. Our cadres were fantastic, led by Major Payne. And we also had Slaughter, Uncle Rico, and Akron. Our first platoon leader was an 18-year-old new Pax, and it was amazing seeing his leadership skills, leading 26 men in this ruck. And just, the fellowship with the guys. When we were on the beach, it was cold, windy, and rainy, and we were just gathering together, holding each other in a penguin huddle just so we could keep warm. Seeing guys help each other out. I'm 60, so I can't be as strong as some of the other guys, and guys are always checking on me and making sure they can help me. So, I was in a lot of pain, probably around 4 or 5 o'clock Saturday morning, Sunday morning. And I'm thinking to myself, why the hell am I doing something like this? But when we finished and just seeing the testimonies from the other guys and just the love amongst all the brothers, it's just amazing. I'm probably retiring from GTEs, but if you've never done one, you have to do it because it's a life-changing event and it shows you what we're all about. So sorry you guys couldn't be there. Again, thanks to everyone who made this possible. Until next time, Funny Car F3, Hampton Roads.
Good morning, Kitty and Rapido. It's your boy Schlitz. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning here in the Sand Hills. Just wanted to call and give you an update on what transpired in the Cape Fear region over the weekend. Tuesday morning, had to let this marinate a couple of days, but wanted to call and give a little recap, and I apologize if this goes long. I got a lot of people that I want to thank.
It will.
So we started out, headed down with a few of the medical, a few of the Carpex guys, Triple Lindy, Parker, Tea Party, Dewey Decimal, got together in the hotel, went down to the rally Friday night, had some great food, listened to some great speakers. Trainers were Bono, Uno, and Power Clean. Awesome dudes. Power Clean is hilarious. He really helped me get through Saturday night and Sunday morning. So got some rest, got up Saturday morning, had an awesome King Builder on the USS Carolina with about 217 other packs. Really awesome experience to see that ship up close and think about the men that served on that ship, especially on Veterans Day. Even my boy Chitwood made the trip from Sand Hills region, so it was awesome to see him. Got to meet a couple of his coworkers, Drill Press and Piglet. Awesome to see those guys. Had a great workout on the ship. Had 5 FNGs, and the reason I say that is we had 6 count with an FNG on the ship Saturday morning, and he was doing the ruck with us on Saturday evening, and he would end up being in my platoon, blue platoon, and was our first platoon leader, and did an absolutely amazing job for a guy, 22-year-old guy that just started that morning. Special shout outs to Prodigal. He let us use his beach house to make it a lot closer to where the actual action was taking place. I was fortunate enough to have Cadre Akron as my cadre for the evening, along with Slaughter, Uncle Rico, and then of course C1 Major Payne. A few more special shout outs from my platoon. Under Siege was my battle buddy. He struggled a little bit in the beginning, but he was able to come back, be one of our platoon leaders later in the evening, and absolutely crushed it. So glad he was able to stick it out and hang in there. Snickers was in my platoon, who I know from Sandhills. He hails from this region. His parents still live here, so I get to see him on occasion. Strong guy there. And again, Piglet, again, works with Chitwood. He had a very special assignment throughout the evening, so he did a great job. And then Radar was my platoon leader when I was assistant platoon leader. He did a great job and really kept us all on task and pushed us real hard. As far as the evening goes, there was some rain, there was some wind, it was a little cold. We found the sound, we found the ocean, we found some logs. All in all, an exceptional weekend.
Oh man, I feel like he was about to wrap it up so well. Hard 3 minutes, boys, but really good. Listen, man, we're going to play Atomic Wedgies next. I've not listened to this yet, as we like to hear things when you guys do, honestly, because it keeps us in the moment. Not lost on us, probably the weight of the weekend and just being around all of those elements, knowing the incredible sacrifice his family has made.
This is Brooks Sherritt, 28, Atomic Wedgie, Red Platoon, F3 Cape Fear. Calling in to thank everyone who participated in GTE44. We had packs from 28 different regions represented. Weather was similar to what one may experience on a Caribbean cruise. Beautiful temperatures of 50 degrees with nonstop rain and wind. I also want to thank our cadres, Major Payne, our C1, Slaughter, Uncle Rico, and Akron, our trainers, Bono, Uno, and Power Clean, and finally, the members of LC48. We all witnessed some incredible moments together, including 3 Marines coming home from their United States Marine Corps ball who noticed the red lights of our headlamps in the dark at Mike Chappelle Park and stopped to check in and see what the heck was going on. We also had some Yum Packs be designated as PLs, and they absolutely crushed it. Shout out to Beetlejuice and Malcolm in the Middle. Definitely noticed some hair poking through your shirts after we finished. We carried logs, sandbags, refreshed ourselves in the Cape Fear River, constructed howitzer cannons to defend the beachhead, and affectionately penguined together during the early morning wet chill to keep our brothers warm. I myself had the opportunity to lead 76 men in a hero workout for my brother, PFC David H. Sherritt II, 1st Squadron, 32nd Cavalry Division, 101st Airborne, who sacrificed his life during combat operations outside of Balad, Iraq, 16 January 2008. His squadron slogan was "Shitty," which became the unofficial mantra for the remainder of the event. All in all, it was a life-changing, leadership-invigorating suckfest, and I can't wait to see what the psychopaths at Grow Rough have planned for the F3 Nation next year. Atomic Wedgie out. Red Platoon reigns supreme.
Well, I mean, get that man in the marketing department for GTE ASAP possible.
Seriously.
That was about as invigorated of a call to explain what actually sounded like a pretty rough evening. But boy, well done. Hey,
yeah,
Wedge.
rough evening and obviously a very personal, heavy topic. But get the man a microphone and something to record. Let's go.
Yeah, Atomic, we're going to need quarterly at minimum, if not monthly updates from you, just whatever's happening. Yeah. Because the way in which you constructed that call was primo. Thank you guys for being a part of it. Obviously an impactful weekend. We spent a lot of time sort of recapping on this specific show because we know the impact that it has for those men. And just incredible to kind of hear those stories. Why don't you get your quote worth repeato teed up because we're going to get these.
Am I going to get to do one this week?
You are. I'm not. I promise you, I am not hijacking your segment this week. Press on grabbed me in the gloom this morning and said, "Hey, love the impromptu QWR, but let the man do what he does best." I said, "Press, I got you. I hear you loud and clear." Before that, we let this man do what he does best, and it's Bones with your weekly health tip, tangible advice for you guys to fold into your routines in your ongoing hunt for wellness.
Hello, COT Podcast. It's another great day for wellness. This is Bones with a health tip for the Packs of F3 Nation. So Halloween is officially behind us, which means Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's will be here before we know it. It also means that we have entered into the dreaded flu season, when more and more family members, coworkers, and neighbors will be falling victim to sickness. The good news is, however, that with the right strategy, you don't have to fall victim to this year's flu or other illnesses, and instead skate through feeling great and ready to enjoy the holiday. Our immune system is responsible for fighting off viruses, and its strength will determine how healthy you remain. If it remains strong, then you won't get sick. If it becomes weak, then you are more susceptible to viruses and other illnesses. So what can you do to ensure your immune system stays as strong as possible? Limit sugar consumption. With the onslaught of candy from Halloween, baked goods offered at Thanksgiving, and the holiday treats that permeates the Christmas season, there is plenty of opportunity for sugar. These treats seem to be available to us all day long and offered from every direction. Commit to yourself that you're only going to have a small amount here and there versus every time it is offered. Maintain good sleep habits. The best way to stay healthy is to make sure you are getting good quality sleep. It is often tempting to stay up later during the holidays, attending parties and other festive events. Be sure to stick to your routine as much as possible and incorporate naps and other rest periods if you find yourself staying out too late. Take immune-boosting nutrients. Vitamin D, zinc, and elderberry are all great options to load up on during this time of year. Because of less sunshine, increased stress, and colder temperatures, our immune systems naturally weaken this time of year. By boosting it with proper nutrients, you can help it stay strong and healthy. So PAX, ensure you stay healthy during the holiday season by boosting your immune system. Avoid sugar and get plenty of sleep. And double down on good quality nutrients. Kitty and Rapido, I know you boys are all about boosting the immune system. Keep up the good work, men. This has been Bones guiding the PAX of F3 Nation on their hunt for wellness. Gotta go.
All right. Well, I got 2 of those 3 specific items already in the cupboard. So I got to throw some elderberry in the mix and we'll be good to go. I know that's popular in the Vance Roseboro household.
Yeah, the M used to make it, and it smells like great dog ass, but we buy it now.
Horrific.
I don't have the elderberry though, but I am big on 100 milligrams of zinc and 6,000 IUs of vitamin D every day.
Go ahead now. Go ahead and get you some, kid. I love it. Great. Bones, you the man. You can hear his podcast every Thursday. Drops every Thursday here on the F3 Family Podcast, The Hunt for Wellness, as well as the stuff we're trying, guys, to come at you the very next day. Thankful for those guys and the great work they're doing on behalf of this incredible F3 Nation. And with that, we're going to leave you with some incredible knowledge, insight, and motivation.
Yeah.
Here on the COT podcast, connecting you to F3 Nation news, bringing quotes both old and new from famous folks at PAX like you. Here comes the quote with Rapido.
Still waiting on the transcript from that third line.
Still need the lyrics.
The third line. Something in there. We got to slow it down. Maybe we can pick it up. All right, my brother. This is your
I was going
segment.
to say before with Bones too, it's a good thing those Christmas tree Little Debbie's are sugar free.
Are they now? I don't think that's how that works.
So this week's quote, building off of sort of the theme of the show with all things GTE, but beyond just that specific event, right? What a GTE means to a man, what a GTE means to a region or a shield lock or a platoon, right? The things that you suffer together. And years ago, I don't remember who originally started it, but I might have been at the Myrtle Beach Grow Ruck, or it might have been at the Louisville Grow Ruck. But the theme of one of those nights was nobody cares what you can do when you're fresh.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yep.
You can blow the PT test out of the water. You can get through the welcome party with ease or with minimal struggle. Right. But I don't really care about that. What I care about is what you're able to do standing shoulder to shoulder with me at 0-300 when it's 44 degrees and raining. And we've got this log, or we've got this coupon, or we've got this task that seems impossible. Right. and everybody's tired. But how much more do you have in the tank? How much more can you dig for that guy next to you? And so I came across a video speech of Mike Tomlin, Steelers head coach. Long-time Steelers head coach.
Yeah.
And his sort of succinctness is in relation to that. And I think
who no matter what, ups and downs, players coming and going, I believe has never had a losing season. And every time you look around, you're like, the Steelers are still kind of like hanging around.
Is that right? Yeah. I guess
I don't think he's ever
never had a losing season is pretty impressive.
I think based on what I heard on the worldwide leader in sports, I'm pretty sure that's accurate.
Your Giants and my Panthers.
God help us. God bless. I would give for a Mike Tomlin to come walking through the front door of that franchise.
Word on the street is that's where Belichick's going next. But anyway, to East Rutherford. But anyway,
well, he's been there before. He was part of the 80s championships with Bill Parcells.
Billy P. All right, we're off topic.
Giants fan here. Giants fan here. A lot's happened between now and then. I don't know. Welcome back with open arms.
Yeah, they also have Ring doorbell cameras these days. But anyway, so Mike in that Tomlin. Same vein, Mike Tomlin and talking about getting the very best, and that feeds into what you're talking about. You're not having a losing season. Like, how are you getting the absolute very best out of every single player and what they're doing, what their mission is, or what their purpose is? And his quote is, for this week's quote is, "It's not what you're capable of, it's what you're willing to do."
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So a lot of those boys down there in Cape Fear, you and I have both been there in those similar scenarios, in the cold, the wet, the wind, the exhaustion, the aches, the pains. You may not be capable of much, but what are you willing to do? What are you willing to do in that moment to take that sandbag off that guy to your left, or run up there and get back under that damn log where you feel like is the 100th time compared to somebody else's 10th time? What are you willing to do to push yourself forward that pushes your team forward? So I think there's a lot of applicability in professional life, in your household, in your marriage, in your community, that sometimes you may not be capable of something or want to be capable of something, but what are you willing to do to make it a better place, a better scenario, a better outcome? So,
well said, man. Great poll.
Tomlin this week. Thank you.
I love that, Coach Tomlin. Guys, before we go, reminder in this season of giving, a lot of people looking for your support. We'd ask that you go to the F3 Foundation website and please consider making a gift today to help the foundation come alongside the mission of F3 and to advance and accelerate the mission of F3 through generosity and giving. That annual campaign is on through the 28th of November. So please go to the F3 Foundation website and give today to something that has meant so much to all of us. My brother, I love you.
Love you too, man.
To the Pax of F3 Nation, if another man hasn't told you this today, we love you. The nation loves you. Keep going out there and doing what you're willing. What are you willing to do, right? What are you willing to do? Go out there and get it. This has been the COT Podcast, connecting the Pax of F3 Nation to something bigger than themselves. Please rate and review our show. Follow us on Twitter at F3COT Podcast and connect with the show at COT@F3Nation.com or by leaving us a voicemail at 844-4COT-PAX. I'm Brian Jodis, 42. Hello, Kitty.
And I'm Jamie Roseborough, 40. Rapido.
And this has been the Circle of Trust Podcast.